Molly Blakely, welcome.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here. Finally, we're doing this.
Yes, I know it's been so long. We've been trying to get together. My schedule didn't work, your schedule didn't work,
I know.
and so finally, at least now, my travel is done for the year, and we can make this happen. So
Yay.
by the way, congratulations on the Costco Next thing. I saw that
Isn't
you were
that
one of them.
exciting?
So
I
tell
found
me
out
about that.
yesterday.
What's that about? We do so many of these immediate opportunities with retailers. It's hard to keep
Yeah.
track. So tell me about that one.
So the Costco Next seems like a cool thing. So all transparency, like I just go on Range Me, and if I qualify, I will apply for it. So that was one of them, and they said congratulations. And so then I was like, oh well, I better look and see exactly what this is. And it looks like it's kind of almost like a DoorDash sort of situation where they're
Hmm.
doing specific brands are going to be able to be picked up in bulk, but
Mm,
in a new way that they're doing some sort of a under the Costco umbrella. So it's new, it's innovative, which is what I love to do. So it's
mhm.
perfect for my brand. I'm really excited. I think they picked 30. I have no idea how many applicants they had. You would probably know that more than I did, but anyway, I'm pumped. Very
Yeah,
excited.
we usually get several hundred
I
applicants for
figured.
these types of things. So,
That's
so
awesome.
I guess the next steps you have a meeting with them, right? Virtual meeting
Yep.
with them or something.
They've already reached out. We reached out, and now we're going to have another meeting with them. Lots of paperwork as
Yeah.
usual. All that fun stuff. Thank the Lord I have people for that because I hate the paperwork part. I'm just the fun part.
I'm the same exact way. I mean, I do not like spreadsheets. I'm not good at them. Anything like I still haven't even done my expenses from last week's trip. I just forget that kind of stuff, and I can't do that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, this is the fun stuff. Getting out there, mixing it up with our industry, and for me, obviously creating content. So yeah, so that's cool. So for people who aren't familiar with you, and you're so prolific on LinkedIn, and
Uh,
I see you all the time. But for those handful of people
yeah.
that
Yeah.
don't know about Molly Bees, could you give us an overview of Molly Bees and the products?
Of course, yeah. So I was a single mom in a little tiny town in Alaska, and I found myself down to my last $150, and I had to figure out how I was going to feed my children. So I started making super weird gourmet cookies, and in just 3 years became a national brand. And my cookies are popular because we use real butter, real sugar, real eggs, all the real stuff. But then we get weird and add like hot Cheetos or boba or fun things. And then we have fun packaging that's bright and black and white stripes, kind of like my background here. So like there's lots of fun things. And I think that's kind of what's notated us. We actually launched right around the same time that I think Cookies launched. So they're like in their little brick and mortars and we're
Mhm.
in store, but the same kind of crazy cookies. So it's really fun.
And it's cool because people really want more interesting flavors. Now, you see that
Yeah.
across all food categories. They
Yep.
want ethnic, they want spicy, they want savory, you're kind of fusing all these together.
Yeah, and I love to watch the trends, and food trends change every single year. So I really do
Mhm,
a lot of research, which is what's fun for me. And
mhm,
so that's how I found out about like I'm like, okay, what can I put hot Cheetos in? Because in like I think it was 2020 they were on trend, and I thought, okay,
mhm.
what else is on trend? Mangoes. Okay, I'll put sun-dried mangoes and roll it in hot Cheetos and see what I get there. And it turned out delicious. So it's just kind of making those combinations work. And it's the craziest thing is last year Food Network said I was the trend to watch, which was wild because I watched the trends. So I was like, what's happening? But they really like the boba doodles, so that was cool.
Oh, very cool, very cool. And it's funny when it sounds like when you were mixing all those ingredients, there was a show, a documentary I watched. I don't remember what it was, but it was on prison, and
Oh,
they were showing a prisoner. He was making a prison taco or prison burrito,
okay.
and it's just he had all it was like M&Ms and Doritos and things that he just all mixed into I think it was a pita or something, and then he took an
Oh wow.
iron or some way he heated it up in some way.
Yes.
But it was good. But you when you were describing it, that's what you reminded me of.
Well, yeah, I mean, I had like the back of a rolling pin and I was just pounding the bag of my hot Cheetos trying to get them to a
Yeah.
powder form, and then like when I was first starting, putting the cookies in a bag and I would seal it with my hair straightener. It didn't even
Mhm.
have like one of those, you just do what you got to do, when you're needing to do it. So that's what I did.
Yeah. Now you mentioned you're always keeping tabs on the food trends. How
Yeah.
are you finding them? Like what are the sources you go to?
Lots of research and a lot of the ingredients people, they do a really great job. Like
Hmm.
I really have a great partnership with Peratos.
Hmm.
They and I are best friends, and so they'll say, they do tons of research and development as far as letting everybody know what's coming up and what's on trend or whatever. So
Hmm.
yeah, and also honestly, listen, I pray a lot, and so I get a lot of stuff divinely, which is really handy. So
Wherever it
that's how I
comes
came up
from.
with that's where I came up with the air fryer cookie. I just woke up and I saw air fryer cookie across the top of a package and I wrote it down and went back to sleep and woke up and started working on it. So it's just kind of how everything works with me.
Divinely inspired flavors.
Yeah. It's a God thing. I'm not even kidding. It's a God thing.
Hey, you never know. Like I said, it can come from anywhere and it's
Yep.
all legit. So,
Yeah.
um, so now you entrepreneurship is in your blood, right? You come from a family of entrepreneurs and
Yep.
obviously it has passed down. That bug has passed down to you. You went through a couple of interesting jobs and like 13. Can you
Which
walk us
one?
through some? Well, you got the rhinestone, the ones that jumped out in particular with
Yep.
the rhinestones, the dinner theater out of your mom's restaurant, the
Yep.
taco stand too. Like, take us
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
of those
Oh, and you can't
jobs.
forget roller derby. I did roller
Roller
derby. I was
derby,
mauling daggers.
yes, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so I grew up in this. My mom was like one of the first woman auctioneers of all the northwestern states in
Hmm.
Alaska, all the northwestern states, and she just was fearless. And so she would just start business after business after business in this little town, 22 altogether. And I just learned how to work in all of them. So I was doing catering, I was working at the roller rink, I'm a certified bowling coach,
Hmm.
a balloonist, all sorts of things. And so that just taught me that that's just what you do. And so
Hmm.
I was turning, I think in my 20s when I started my first it was a brick and mortar called Molly's Flower Factory. And I did a flower shop. It's 3,000 square feet. And in 10 months, I sold it for 10 times my investment. So,
Wow.
and I thought, oh, there's something here. And so then I
Hmm.
kind of got that same entrepreneur bug and started another one and another one and another one. It's all in my book that's coming out. I actually just sold the book. So it's really exciting.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
thank you very much. It's called uh Bake It Till You Make It. So, but yeah,
Awesome.
and but roller derby, I've done floral design, I've done several different kinds of bars and restaurants and catering like my family. Yeah, just all kinds of things. It's been really fun. And now I mentor all different kinds of businesses because I can help people because I learned a lot, a lot, a lot.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of different skills that you pick up or that I'm sure you've picked up along the way
Oh
that you
man.
apply to your business now. Can you give us some examples of some of them?
Pivoting is the best skill
Uh,
because there's things that can happen out of the blue that you're not going to expect,
mhm.
like you get the wrong box size and you have to pivot and figure out what you're going to do
Mhm.
and how you're going to make it so your cookies might be a little bit bigger or whatever, or maybe they need
Mhm.
to be bite sized because one store only wants to be bite sized. So it's all about the pivot. I've learned that really. That's an serial entrepreneur thing is you
Mhm.
don't take no for an answer, you just pivot and make it a yes every time. So
Mhm.
that's truly, I'm like, okay, that's a no from you, but what will be your yes? So what can I do you need new flavors? What sells? What's your price point? What are you needing from me? And that's how we make a lot of deals. And it's I taught was taught that as a young child that
Mhm.
you just pivot when things get weird, pivot.
Yeah, but
So,
that's a very valuable lesson. When I talk to brands all the time about buyer meetings, and it's like, listen, a no isn't 99% of the time, a no is not a no forever. It's a no for
yeah.
right now, and there's usually a path to that yes, and
Hmm.
it's just what you said. It's pivoting in
Yep.
some way. Maybe they need different packaging, different size, tweak to the ingredients, whatever. Something in your supply chain. Maybe you can't handle the scale yet, and you have to, but something
Yeah.
will get you there, and that's why it's important just to stay in touch, and keep going. And so another skill I'm guessing is resilience because uh,
Oh yeah. For sure, resilience, man. There's been some crazy things I never thought would happen. You know, coming from a little tiny town, you just kind of take people at their word. And so when you get into the big world of things and you realize that not everyone has got the integrity that you
Mm,
have, it makes things a little different. And so there's been some situations that have been scary and cost me a lot of money in lessons. But at the same time, then I'm like, okay, note to self, that was a hard lesson, but we just pick up and do it again, and it's been exciting and a blessing at the same time. You have to learn. I don't ever want to learn anything from someone that said they've never failed because
hmm.
then they've had no lessons and I don't believe them honestly. So that
Yeah,
immediately they're not honest. So I think that the best people you can learn lessons from are people who have failed.
yeah.
And because they learned and they know now what not to do. But also, I just want to note that like if you're in a buyer's meeting and someone is like on the cusp, like they're not sure, well, I don't know, we kind of only want strawberry and I know that you have raspberry or whatever. The very best comeback is try me in 100 stores, try me in 50 stores.
Hmm.
Let's just see how we do. Give them an opening, and I've never had a no. They always are like, oh, okay, we'll try you in that many stores and see how it goes. And maybe it's not going to go awesome, but at least you got the opportunity to get in there and show what you can do. So I
Hmm.
think it's really important too.
Yeah, and a friend of mine called his failure paying college tuition. That's what he calls
Right?
his failures. Yeah, this is
No kidding.
yeah, he's with a company called Origin USA. They're in Maine. They also they're customers of ours on the Jocko Fuel side, right? They do vitamin supplement line,
Okay.
and his one of his this guy Peter, one of his previous businesses failed, and that's what he would say. He was paying college tuition. He learned from it, and now his business is thriving. So,
Yeah, I
um,
love that. That's
yeah.
so good.
So the resilience, yeah, and also you mentioned, trust is important, but there's one person that you trusted that is why you were down to your last $150, right? You
That's
mentioned that.
right. Yeah.
So learning how to trust people, but I guess, and that goes hand in hand with the resilience, right? Someone
Hmm.
betrayed your trust, and then that resilience came into play because you had to
And
pick yourself up.
contracts are important.
Hmm.
The contracts are really important. That's another thing that I've learned through the process is make sure they can tell you yes 1,000 times, but if it's not on contract, and then even sometimes if it is on contract, then they'll
Hmm.
still be like, that doesn't matter, like, oh no, it
Hmm.
matters, and so then now lawyers are involved and it's so stupid. So just, make sure to get everything on contract written down,
And
and then
bulletproof.
yeah, and one of the
Yeah.
gals that I mentor right now, she has like $100,000 worth of product in her freezers right now, and I said, "What are you doing? Like, you don't ever do anything until you get the purchase order."
Hmm.
And I was taught that. Like, I was telling her how a major brand in the very beginning said they were going to buy 1,000 floor displays for their stores. It was like one of my very first meetings, and so I thought, amazing. And I didn't get the purchase order, but I bought the 1,000 floor displays of the money that I didn't have at the time. I like borrowed it from someone, and then they ghosted me. And
Mm.
so and it was the weirdest thing. Like they were so, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so great. We can't wait to get you in there, like super enthusiastic. We had like a follow-up call. They were saying what flavors, everything. And then I never heard from them again. I ordered everything. And so until someone said, never make a move until the ink is dry. And that
Hmm.
is such good advice.
Yeah, I
So now
bet
I'm like,
you never made that mistake again.
oh no, I did not. That was
Yep.
6 years ago. And it was like, oh, this is gnarly. That was a hard one. Maybe 5 years ago, but yeah, that was hard.
Yeah, and things happen. I mean, what people don't understand, um, is that things happen that are out of your control, and sometimes it's not the fault of the buyer either. So,
Yeah.
like an example, we had one guy in the general merchandise side. He got a deal with this major retailer, and everything was a go, but then the buyer was promoted. And then the new buyer that came
Yes.
in changed his
That is
mind on the
happening
product.
for real.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then a year later, that buyer left. The new buyer
Yeah.
came in, loved it, and put it on the shelf. So sometimes it's no fault of
Yeah.
your own. It's not
Yeah.
anybody's fault. It's just the way things happen. And people have to, especially newer brands, they have to
Mhm.
keep that in mind. It's like you need that X factor that might come into play that they need to prepare for.
And it's such a dance. They're like, okay, they said they want it. They said this many stores, but they're going to need it by this date. So that means I got to get graphic design involved. I got to get the new nutrition labels. I got to get the new UPC codes, get everything going behind the scenes so that when they say go, we go. But then sometimes we don't get the purchase order for like 2 weeks before it's due, but boxes are going to take like 5 weeks. So
Hmm.
there's this weird thing in between. And the buyers, I don't think, understand everything that's dancing in the background to make it. They
Yeah.
just think it's a simple thing that we just, I just own like a thousand warehouses of cookies. I'm waiting for them to pull the trigger. Like we truly, truly get as fresh as we can every time. So
Hmm.
I don't pull until we get a purchase order. So it is tricky, and it's all a dance.
Yeah,
We're
so
doing the stock
communication has got
out.
to be very important, right? Communication
Yeah,
with the buyers,
yeah,
with
yes.
everybody in the supply chain, because not only can bad things happen, but um, success can actually cause issues too. Like, let's say you have some influencer posts about one of your products, and then they go
Mhm,
off the shelf everywhere. If you
mhm,
don't have that supply chain capability set up and
mhm.
ready to go, boom,
Yeah.
you're out of stock, and then you're screwed.
But I like being out of stock. Like right now, we're out of stock of boba doodles, the strawberry flavor, because they're a hot ticket. And if you are a store buyer watching this right now and you don't have boba doodles in your store, you need to rethink that decision. So good. 365-day shelf life, all natural, no preservatives. Give me a break. Boba in a cookie. The end. Have a great day. So, that alone, but I mean, so I don't mind being sold out on some things because it shows
Yeah.
that they're popular, that they're, and we'll
Hmm.
have them again in warehouse next week. But,
Yeah,
it's just a thing.
but two things. One, like you said, you'll have it next week, so it's not that long a wait. But
Yeah.
also, you seem the type that turns lemons into lemonade. In other words, you'll flip
Yes.
that and you'll say It's exclusive." It's like it's not in now, but
That's what I'm
it
saying.
adds
I
to the
always
exclusivity.
That's everything. Every way
Yeah,
you can make it a positive, wonderful experience and a way to make it better.
yeah.
So I'm super big about what you speak is so important to what
Hmm.
you get. Like definitely your words can bless your life or curse your life. So I'm blessing everybody I meet and blessing myself.
Yep. Hey, as someone who lives by words, that's I believe it. And look, when you think
Yeah.
about it, technically pumpkin spice products are out of stock like 3/4 of the year. It's just
Mhm.
3 months, and then
Yeah.
everybody wants them. So,
I
some
love pumpkin
yes,
spice.
sometimes that exclusivity or the it's a very limited quantity, right? You
Yeah,
promote
yeah.
it limited quantity, and everyone wants to get theirs. So yeah, so you've grown so much, and I know you've been a really good partner and supporter of RangeMe and ECRM over the years. Can you talk about some of the wins that you've had from those platforms? And I'd like to kind of unpack some of the experiences you had with those wins.
Sure. Yeah, so we did the open call with Walmart a couple of years ago. That was a win with you guys. It was awesome. My first time in Target was through you guys too
Hmm.
at ECRM. The cool thing about the ECRM platform is that like if I go to like a expo, we do expos too. We do both.
Hmm.
But if I go to an expo, a great buyer could walk right by me because they're looking the other way across the
Hmm.
aisle. So I'm like, "Hey, you want a cookie?" Like I'm yelling at these people like, "Who is this woman?" But like it's important that they like I'll even run up and put cookies in people's bags that are
Hmm.
walking by, they don't even see me. I'm a psychopath like that. But with you guys, we get to sit down and have one-on-one conversations. And
Hmm.
then they'll say interested or not interested on your platform. You can go back and look and you can say, okay. And it's such a great thing to not waste time. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So I love it so much. And then we get these one-on-one conversations with these buyers, and they'll say, we're specifically looking for this. Oh my gosh, we have that, but in this, but we can turn it into that. And
Hmm.
you just are a constant pivot with something like that. And ECRM has been awesome. I was told about Range Me actually, I think my second year in business, and I was still making cookies out of a church kitchen. Like I
Hmm.
really truly wasn't even doing anything
Yeah.
yet. But I signed up and I started looking and submitting for things I wasn't prepared or
Hmm.
ready for, but I just wanted to go for it. And I did.
Hmm.
And it's just you have such an opportunity for everyone to do amazing things if they do the platform correctly and really truly do what they need to do. ECRM is cool. Like a lot of people think, oh, it's the same as a booth or whatever, but it's not because you guys include hotel, you
Hmm.
feed us, you have fun events, we get to mingle with all the people. Like ECRM's a vibe, man. It truly is. I love you guys.
I could have said it better myself. I mean, that's, I mean, that it's true. It's a turnkey thing. So you don't, your registration includes everything, but then you
Yeah.
also have the opportunity. You're there with them in the same location for the whole time.
You're all
So,
staying at the same hotel, so you'll be like sitting next to someone with Kroger at breakfast. I mean,
mhm.
like it's that's cool. And then you just have conversations. And I'm always packing cookies at those things. I like a bag of cookies. I just walk around and hand them out to people. So if they don't have a meeting with me, they're gonna try to have a conversation later. And I think that's the thing. Be prepared.
Yeah,
Knock it out of the
yeah.
park. Yeah.
Have that like pitch ready to go at a
Yeah.
moment's notice, one pitch for like when
Boom.
you bump into somebody. And then just being around and just, you may meet with a buyer during your 10 or 20-minute meeting, but then you see them outside in the hospitality area, you can kind of get to build that relationship and talk about
Yes.
personal things too and get to know each other.
Yeah, we just did that one in California. It was at the last ECRM we did. Well, we did the digital one with you guys this last week, but we did one. Where was it? Was it in California?
Was that
Where
which
was
one
I?
was
I
it?
travel so much, I
Yeah,
don't
which
know where
one
I
was it?
was.
Was it the snack? Was it a snack
It was in
or
Long Beach.
Long Beach? Was that the candy one or no?
I don't know.
No, it was
But
probably.
anyway, we literally got to know so many people. It was so much fun. And we got to meet everybody and talk to them. And the buyers were like, hey, and they're like, hey, like you get on a better rapport with everybody. And I love that. And it just makes it more fun.
Yeah, was that in August?
I think it
That
was.
was in August because I was supposed to go to that one, but I ended up going to Florida because I had to interview a former mob capo. Um,
That's fun.
Yeah, we had our on and off premise adult beverage, and one of the brands is Franzese wine from Michael Franzese, who was a captain in the Colombo family. I met him and interviewed him on video last year, but we did a fireside chat on stage, and
Nice.
it was pretty cool. And me being a New Yorker, with my accent, I kind of I was the
Oh
one to do
yeah,
the
oh yeah.
interview.
No, I
So
love it. My VP Frank Alfieri, he is got the accent too, and I love it. And he's really like, "Let's go, Molly." He always calls me Molly B. I'm never Molly. I'm always
m-
Molly B. He's like, "Come
m-
on, Molly B. Let's do this, Molly B." Like everything's Molly B. But I love that, like the go getting of the New York. You guys just get her done, and that's
it
how I
just
am
comes,
too.
yeah, it just comes with the territory, and
You're built different. I love it.
yeah, and I have that typical blue collar Queens, New York City accent.
Yeah,
If I say coffee or walk or pork or water,
trophy.
yeah.
I love that.
I used to be very self-conscious about it, but now it's just, you know what?
Oh man, don't I
Nobody else
love it?
sounds
It's
like that in
awesome.
the industry. It's very
Yes,
few
it's the
people from there.
best.
So, and then I'll joke around when I'll interview someone and they're like, "Oh, I feel so comfortable when you interview me." And I'm like, "Yeah, because I sound dumber than anybody I'm next to." So they
I think you sound dumb. I think you sound awesome. I love it.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So you did mention something before that I want to follow up on is you said if they work the platform correctly.
Hmm.
Can you elaborate on that? So for Range Me and ECRM, you did touch on, how to kind of work, but what is your advice? How should they work these platforms correctly?
Well, I think that it's really important that once you make the appointment to be at ECRM or whatever, listen, there's 1,000 brands out there, and everyone wants to be seen. But if you're doing the same thing the same way as everyone else, it's just going to be boring.
Yeah.
So be not boring. Like
Hmm.
do something that no one else is doing, and then that will make them more questionable. They'll question more about what your brand is and what you're doing that is different. I think that is what has really been successful for me. But furthermore, after the meeting and everything goes super well, you have to follow up like a stage five clinger because they are literally getting so many people and so many I mean, we talked to a guy yesterday that he said he had 15 meetings before us and he had two after us and the buyers are tired. And I just said, listen, I'm going to be your most favorite meeting you've had. So just buckle up. And he ended up emailing us and he said, by the way, you are my favorite meeting. And I'm like, yes. And
Hmm.
that's the goal. I want people to just have joy and be happy or whatever, but that's all part of it. But you want like a booth also that, have bright colors, stand out. Don't
Hmm.
don't be so focused on being like everything's got to be in line perfectly or whatever. Just be comfortable, be relatable, be there where the people just want to meet and feel you and your brand and your story and everything. Because really, truly at these meetings, it's about the story and it's about
Mhm.
making the connection and it's about the product too. But it all is as important as the other thing. Like it's all just as important. And
Yeah.
that's what I mean.
Be memorable. I mean, that's you
Yeah.
certainly are memorable.
You
And yes,
better be.
yes, you have this energy about you so that, and it's important. Like you said, the
Thank you.
buyers are going through so many meetings and
Sure.
you stand out. And it's again, it's the colors, it's the flavors, it's that, but it also
Yeah.
it's you.
Thank you.
It's you. You have this energy that you give off. Like when you ran into me at that session in the summer, it was in Chicago, and I
Yes.
was running. I had a video
Yeah.
appointment, and you said, you know who I am, right? And I was like, Molly Bees.
Yay! Yes. That's so funny.
But yeah, but that's the point. It's like that's the point I'm
Yeah.
getting across is I knew who you are instant. I never met you in person before, but you stood in front of me. You're like, you know who I am, right? And I was like, of course, because it's the way you are a very memorable person everywhere.
Thank you.
So here
Thank
on
you.
LinkedIn and all that, and it's important. It's important. You don't want to be dull because then you kind of mix in with the 40 or 50 other people that they
Have
met
a
with.
shtick. Be the person that puts stickers on people's foreheads. Whatever your shtick is, be that shtick. Like have some sort of something. For me, I'm just loud and have cookies. But other people, if you're shy or whatever, just do something. Like be the person with the suspenders or the big red glasses. Like have something that makes you stand out. If you are shy or whatever, just do something within the way that your booth is or something that will make a difference. That'll be a little bit different. Like I think that right now these QR codes on packaging are so important, and I think that
Mhm.
everybody really needs to get and put them on your business cards too, and to make it so when they click that QR code, it goes straight to a video about, hey, I'm Molly B with Molly B's Cookies. I'm so glad that you got my card. That means you're interested, and just make a thing and make it an experience for these buyers because they're so like they get hit and hit and hit all day long, and just do something a little different that'll make, huh, that's actually kind of cool. I think I'll make an appointment to talk to her, and do something different.
Yeah, I was just talking about to my dad. I saw him earlier in the week, and he's been experimenting with I forget what the machine's called. It's like he could make uh things for shirts and stuff like stick on not
Yeah,
stick on.
yeah,
I
yeah,
forget
yeah.
what the machine's called, but anyway, I'm gonna have him make me some ECRM shirts that have a QR code on the back that go to my LinkedIn
Yes.
profile. So when I
Listen,
meet
I think
someone,
that'd be cool to just have packaging on shelf, and all it is one huge QR code.
yeah.
Wouldn't people be like, "What the hell is that?" And they'd have to see and be like, "Oh, this is this product." I mean, just to do something weird, you
Yeah, and
know?
the QR codes we're going that way anyway with one of the interviews I did in Frankfurt, Germany was with GS1, and it was all about the next generation barcodes. And and switching, they're trying to get everybody to switch from the 2D barcode to for the the line to the QR
Yeah,
codes or the squares
yeah.
because you could do so much more with that, including these additional marketing things. But I think
There's
going to a
so
video
much.
is great because rather than a website, right? It just pops up into a
Yeah.
video and it's a
Like, oh,
little
now
more
I got a
interactive.
coupon, and but if they go there and they don't expect that, put it
Yeah.
on your packaging. And I mean, I'm preaching to myself. I'm going to be putting it on my packaging. I haven't yet, but that's the plan. And so when people go there, and actually, I'm in the middle of also doing a cookbook right now, and the cookbook will have QR codes of me showing them how to make the recipe.
That's
So
the way
just
to
do
go.
something just slightly different.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. That's the way to
What
do
an
it.
opportunity.
Yeah. So I got a question about scaling up, right? How many stores are you in now?
Yes. So we're in, I want to say between 35 to 4,000, but it's just building every day. So
Yeah.
it could be, and some of them are like with Costco, it's regionally. So sometimes
hmm
they'll put us in for an 8 week spot,
hmm
and then we'll do another region somewhere else. So that ebb and flows. But yeah,
And
it's
that's
it's
just a few
around
years.
3,500 to
Yeah, and
4,000.
that's just a few years.
Yeah.
How did you scale up? Like, how did you adapt? Your production,
Sure.
your marketing, how did you scale up in that time? What was involved?
Well, to start, because I was in a little tiny town in Alaska,
Hmm.
I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I just knew I wanted to build the brand so people would be know who I was. And so I really
Hmm.
focused on building the brand and being known. And I ended up um I mean I was running my own website and everything with a little Wix website. And so
Yeah.
on my SEO or whatever, somehow the Oscars found me. And so I got into a like a gifting event with the Oscars, and then I did the Emmys, and then if you did good there, then they invite you to the Grammys. So boom, 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 all these endorsements just happened within probably 12 months. And so
Wow.
then Wheel of Fortune found out about me, and we ended up on the wheel like 20 times. And like so I started there. And so then when you're talking to the stores, you start talking about I have all these
Hmm.
endorsements. And so that helps the momentum. So then I started my like maiden voyage was QVC. So I started, that was the first thing I did was QVC, which was so fun and a dream of
Hmm.
mine. I always wanted to be on QVC. And and that's how I met Frank, because Frank was a QVC dude. So that's my BP. So and
Oh,
then
good.
after that, he was like, this brand is going somewhere. And I'm like,
You're
well, you should
perfect
get
for
on board.
QVC, by the way. Yeah, I mean, with that energy, yes.
Well, thank you. But anyway, so but then from there we did like a whole bunch of online stuff like Snack Magic, and then Amazon, and all the online things. And then from there you just have to have proof of concept. You have to make sure
Hmm.
that people want to buy it. Because
Yeah.
you can make a turd sickle if you want to, but if it doesn't sell, then who cares, you know?
Hmm.
So having that proof of concept was important. And then we got in like all the Great Wolf lodges, and then we actually did an ECRM meeting, and that was what changed things. Then we got into a target, and then we got into from there we could use that target to start going on Range Me and
Yeah.
Where Are You, Boomer, and Target. So what other stores? Well, we did QVC and Target. Now we're QVC, Target, and 7-Eleven, or whatever that looks like, you know. And so we just kept getting all these things. So it just kind of grew from there. All of them were home runs. Sometimes they were lessons, and we learned them, and it hurt. But at the same time, we every door was not shut. They said, "Come back when
Hmm.
you get it figured out," and that's important too. Is to follow back and be like, okay, and I'll be like, Frank, who do we need to follow back with that we fell over with? At one point when we were in the beginning, and he'll say,
Yeah.
"Let's try these people or whatever," and we do, and they're all open minded about it. They're like, "Okay, cool, yeah, let's try it again." So yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
did.
Well, and then the success brings more success because now they're
Yeah.
confident in you. Because,
Mhm.
some people, and I'll tell them, I say, I don't mean this in a bad way, but if it's your first time here and your brand's only a year old, buyers are not going to trust you. And I don't mean it negative. It's just that
Yeah.
they don't know if you're not going to be here next year. They want to
Hmm.
see your successes. They want to see some track
Hmm.
record. But that's why we say it's important to keep coming back and back. And sure, we're not doing it to sell them again. Of course, we love the recurring, customers, but the thing is, they need to see you more than once before they're
That
gonna
is
say, "Hey, I'm gonna
that
take a
is
chance."
that's a real thing. Like, and just like, I mean, we did the fancy food show, and we've done the sweets and snacks show, and buyers are remembering us now. So
Hmm.
the ones that didn't make a deal before are now like, hey, I hear you. Yeah, let's talk again. You're still here. I'm like, I
Yeah,
am still here. Let's do it. And we have
yeah.
new
Case in
cool
point.
things.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
and
they
that's
they see
exactly
you.
right.
They know you're
Yeah.
around. They know you're
Yep.
around. Well, now they definitely know you're here for good.
It's
So,
exciting. Even
um,
ChatGPT talks about me.
oh,
I
good.
I I
I
asked
gotta
ChatGPT.
I gotta check that out. I want to see
Yeah, it
what
was.
it says.
I know. I was so excited. I was like, "What is the fastest growing CPG cookie company in the nation?" And Molly B's was number two.
Nice,
I was like,
nice.
"Oh my God, that's me!" Yeah, it was so exciting. And someone's like, "Well,
That's
you're
excellent.
training your ChatGPT." I'm like, "Then you do it." And it was a so. There you go.
Oh, perfect. I'll do it too.
Yeah,
I'll check it out.
yeah.
So now you're no longer using the church kitchen for me, right?
No.
So how has that scaled up? Like,
Yeah,
so all this
sure.
growth you just talked about, how have you accommodated that growth in your production?
Yeah, so I now work with 8 different cookie factories or
Mhm.
co-packers or whatever, and they're all over the nation, from New York
Mhm.
to Atlanta to Detroit, California, Washington, all over the place. And people are like, "Why do you have so many?" Several reasons. Some of them only do the boba doodle. Some of them
Mhm.
only do the indulgent cookies. Some of them only, we started doing stuffed cookies and dough. So now we're doing Molly B's dough line,
Mhm.
Molly B's stuffed cookies. And so we have a dude that just does that. Some of them will only do Costco. And some of them they max out at like 5 pallets. I have one
Yeah.
co-packer that's like 1,800 square feet. but
Mm,
they're like my recipe and development co-packer, and they have all the certifications and everything. They're just mean and lean, or lean and
yeah.
mean. They're little. They're not really that mean. Anyway, but you know what I'm saying. And so,
Hmm.
and it's cool because they're in Washington, so I can just fly to Washington to go do recipe and development from Anchorage. It's only 3 hour flight for me.
Oh, that's
Then I
great.
can go and then come back and have everything ready to go. So, it's cool. And we can the one thing I think that's been successful for us too is I can recipe and develop in 24 hours. And a lot of places that are trying to do like new flavors and all these things that are taking so long or whatever, there's one co-packer that told me if we get a new recipe, it'll take them 9 months to do all of this stuff. And I thought,
Hmm.
how are you doing over there? Like, let me out there, I'll help you. So it just, but I work fast. And like when I got the deal with Walmart, they asked me to do an exclusive cookie with them. And so I went to my Airbnb, and then I went to, in Bentonville, there's 9,000 Walmarts all over the place. So I went to a Walmart and I grabbed stuff off their shelves of stuff that they already had for sale there. I did all of the research on Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, and I wanted to know like what he ate, why he ate it, what was his favorite, what is he known for. Like I did tons of research and I found out that he loved pralines and cream ice cream, and he loved moon pies. So I got praline pecans, and then I put some chocolate, and then I put a quarter of a moon pie and shoved it right on top and called it the founder. And I took it the next day to my meeting at Walmart in a Tupperware container, and I said, here you go, try it out, see what you think. And they loved it. They started like they left the office and went and got other buyers to come into our room where we were doing the meeting so they could also try the cookie. And that was in 24 hours, and we launched that brand, and the founder was launched it at a Walmart. So, there's just you have to be able to just do cool fun things.
That is brilliant. That is I'm clipping that. That is a perfect little story right there. But
Thank you.
but because it highlights a few things. One, your innovative, your innovative thinking, and two, the research. Like you put the time into research, and then you
Mhm,
found his like favorite things. So it's relevant. One, the combination was delicious for the buyers,
mhm,
and then
mhm.
two, it had a meaning beyond that for those
Yeah,
buyers. It's like this was
yeah,
the founder of Walmart, his favorite kind of flavors. So
yeah.
and I'm not surprised that it ended up being a home run so quickly, but I think that's the kind of like creative thinking that's really important, especially for a startup brand owner that might be watching or listening to this. So
Go for
kudos
it.
to
Don't
you
be
on that.
afraid.
That
Just
was a
like
great
take
story.
the wheels off and go for it. Like don't be afraid to go for it. That
Hmm.
for some reason people get limited on, oh, I can't talk to them, or I don't want it. That I mean that's Frito-Lay. I'm not going to talk to Frito-Lay. I'm like Googling headquarters of Frito-Lay, and then I'll go and find them all of them on LinkedIn and friend them all, and then just boom, 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 like a stage five clanger. Hey, what are you doing? How you doing? I got a hot Cheeto cookie. Let's talk.
Yeah,
And then a couple weeks ago we had a meeting with them, and so
you
it's
never
because I'm
know.
relentless. Yeah,
Yeah, you never know, and I like
you
that. I
don't.
think people need to hear that. It's just you're exploring. You're not leaving any stone unturned, no matter where it is,
Mhm.
unconventional or not. There could be an opportunity. We hear that. I hear
Yes.
that a lot from brands that come to a session and they're like, "Hey, we've found we've gotten into channels we had no idea existed because of this. Like we have,
That's me.
yeah,
I mean, being in Alaska, I was getting phone calls from like Five Below called me. I didn't know who that was. And World Market called me. We don't have either. Like, there's pretty much in Alaska, we have Fred Meyer, and then we have a Safeway. And I, I think that's really all the grocery stores we have
yeah.
here. I mean, and Target. We have three Targets. And so I don't know how to get these stores. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you're
No,
right.
no, that's
That's such
fine. Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have. Meanwhile, I have a Target and a Five Below, literally a block and a half from where I'm sitting right now, and they're right next to each. They're in the same building.
Oh wow. See, truly, I think that if I lived in a big city, I wouldn't have been as like ambitious about this because I'd be more intimidated with all
Hmm.
looking at everything and all the people everywhere or whatever. But being in a little town, I was like, "Oh, I guess I'll just do this now, and then
Yeah,
it's just my mindset.
yeah. No, I think that's awesome. And one thing, what I wanted to wrap up with is you're paying it forward because you're mentoring other brands now. And,
Yeah,
I think that's awesome. And I think it's a lot of most of the successful brand owners that I speak with, they always end up doing that sort of a role. Like they end
yeah,
up giving back, sure, in other ways, maybe they're donating to this or that, but giving back of themselves.
yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what you're doing in that area.
Yeah, so, I think that with 8 billion people in the world, there's enough money for everyone to win. So I help cookie companies, I help dessert companies, I help people with bars because I owned a bar at one point in my life. Like and I just anything they have questions, I'm like, here's my number, just text me and I'll answer the
Mhm,
questions if I have time. And I love seeing people succeed because then it's like a little part of me is like, yep, I nailed it again. I got that one right, But and I learned so much because coming from a little
mhm,
town, I had to learn everything myself. And I thought, man, if I could help people skip steps from the
mhm.
lessons that I learned, I think that would be so great because everyone needs to succeed. And so I truly do. And there's some people like, don't go to that co-packer. That is not a good idea. Go to this co-packer over here. They're wonderful. And I'll share, the tea on a lot of things. Now I pocket a lot of stuff too because it's worth millions of dollars at this point. But at the time, and still, I help people if they call me or reach out to me and, hey, I really need help with this. I heard you could help. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I think that's that's so important, and it's great because it keeps everything alive. It keeps that whole industry engaged. And I know a lot of that happens with the Walmart open call events. There's a lot of like the
Yes,
entrepreneurs get together and they have programs to help each other.
there
So
is such that's a great event. And
mhm,
also I just need to, Target has been a huge partner with me
mhm.
this year, and I just definitely want to give them a shout out because they've really believed in my brand and have launched me nationally in every location on several projects. We did one project in the fall. We did a second project that are in stores of naughty and nice cookies that I created for them just for Target right now, where they just sent us another. We're doing a Dubai brownie and cookie that will be coming out at the end of this month. And then we're doing another thing for Valentine's Day. So they have been tremendous for me. And thank you, Target. I love you, Target.
There you go. That Dubai chocolate is like getting so hot now. I'm hearing so much
Yeah.
about that. Didn't even know
Oh,
what it
wait till
was
you have
until
mine.
all of a sudden. So yeah.
Yeah. So good. I have a stuffed chocolate chip 5 ounce Dubai chocolate brownie and chocolate chip cookie
It's in Target?
at the end of this month.
Okay. I'll go because let me know. I'll go run and get
Yeah.
it.
Well, go get the naughty and nice cookies right now. They're delicious.
Naughty and nice cookies. Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds like
Naughty.
you don't
It's
have
a
just
spicy hot chocolate and a peppermint hot chocolate. They're
you
in
don't
all the
have just
locations right
pure
now.
naughty cookies. That's
They're
more
all
my
naughty.
style. Okay, good. That's more my style.
Indulgent, delicious, real butter, all the good stuff. Yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Well, listen. What parting thoughts do you have? Well, you have something upcoming. You did mention some things that are coming down the pike, but what would you like to a parting thought for people watching?
Parting thought for people watching is if you're thinking of getting into a brand or if you're right smack in the middle of a brand, just literally don't be afraid to just call someone and ask. Like, just ask if you can make an appointment with them or follow up, follow up, follow up. Never give up. The only people who don't succeed are the ones who give up. So keep going. Don't give up, no matter what it looks like. You've got this.
Awesome. Well, this certainly has been a memorable interview. So, thank you so
Thank you.
much. It was so great spending time with you.
Thank you for having me. I'm so grateful. It was fun.